And now think about that. What did I say about the King of Swords? The King of Swords, he's true to his word. But I always think of the shadow side of the vice versa tarot deck, where he's standing there, there's lightning in the distance, and his sword is in the ground, and he's got metal kind of armor on, and he's standing there because he promised, right, to do whatever he's doing. But there's a big difference between fulfilling a promise and being a martyr. That's something that's coming up here. So that may be a secondary energy or a secondary message for someone who needs to hear it, but please remember that there's a big difference between fulfilling a promise and being a martyr. If it ends up in your destruction or you having to take all of that, if you know that tower could be you crumbling, do you still want to do it? Because we've got the Five of Swords here coming up to the past. That's kind of selfish, ruthless energy. So you may feel like your hand's been forced, or you may have done something in the past and thought, well, I was being selfish then, to kind of make up for something. You know, even if you were or were not selfish. Selfish is one of those, it's one of the most maligned words, because taking care of your own needs does not make you selfish. Expecting other people to take care of your needs, that makes you selfish. That makes you selfish. So are you on the receiving end of that, or are you on the dishing end of that? Little kind of extra. I mean, it's amazing. It's almost like there's no kind of this reading kind of just smashed me in the face straight away as soon as I kind of picked up that deck and started shuffling. King of Swords makes quite a statement, and so does the Queen of Wands. We have the Queen of Wands coming up here, and she's confident. She goes for it, you know. She's both the King and Queen of Wands, they're so ambitious, you know, they kind of go for it. Whatever their passion is, their inspiration, whatever they're looking to create, they don't sit and think about it. They don't do research about it. They don't care how they feel about it. They're inspired and they're going to take action. The present moment is the one that counts for both, you know, the court cards of the wand suit. Very different from swords, which is air energy, where we like to think about things. This is what we're doing. This is, if we do that whole talking the talk with swords, this is walking the walk with wands. Now, there's some action that must be taken around something that you want. Nine of Cups, your heart's desire. And you're ready for it, and you're very inspired by it. I love this combination of the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Cups. And it's an underlying energy. That's the energy that we come in with. So some of you may already be doing this. You may already be kind of like saying, oh my God, this is so exciting. I want to go do this. I'm passionate about this. I will usually read the court cards that come up as an underlying energy as the person or people that I'm reading for. Excuse me. As the person or people that I'm reading for. But it's general. So for some of you, the Queen of Wands is your heart's desire. Your heart's desire. And that's someone who's very vibrant, larger than life energy, always with wands, always in motion, always going for it. They're the celebrities. I always see the King, Queen of Wands as the celebrities. They're the ones in the spotlight. And we notice them because they're always going for stuff, always doing things, right? So we've got that as the underlying. But think about this. That's only for a few of you. For most of you, I think this is about really going for what you want. Now have a look. There we've got the scales balancing two situations. So what are these scales balancing? That's the focus. Because the focus is in trying to find balance. Balance between what? Balance between this, taking action, going for something that your heart wants. The Nine of Cups is the wish card. This is my wish. This is my dream. This is my heart's desire. That's the best person to be handed that wish or dream, because she's just going to go for it. She doesn't care about long-term consequences, and not in a reckless way. I mean, that could be a darker energy of the Queen of Wands, that she could be kind of reckless around that. But in her highest vibration, her thing is that, you know, I can change direction. I have confidence in myself that I'm going to do this now, and I will know how to react. I will know what to do if I come to another crossroads. If, you know, something else happens along the way, I'll know what to do. That's what true confidence is. Not having a perfect plan, but in trusting in yourself to be able to change directions. And I say this often, fire is always in motion. If you ever watch a flame, even light a candle, watch the flame, it's always in motion. There's always some movement to it, a flicker to it. Fire doesn't sit still or stand still. It's about going for it. That's on the one hand. That in the past, though, the foundation, we've got the Five of Swords. This is someone who's willing to do whatever it takes to get what they want. But it's not pleasant. Five of Swords is not pleasant. It doesn't matter which way you look at it. This is actually the minor arcana, for me, the minor arcana version of the Tower. I do see the Five of Swords as the Tower, because this is a blow to the ego. This is like ego challenging. Is it better to be happy, or is it better to kind of fight for this and be right? And I kind of get the sense that for some of you, you feel selfish in taking care of your own needs, or you feel selfish in doing what you have to do, you know, whether that's, oh my God, I don't want to be selfish, or if I do this, no one's going to support me. No one's going to be there for me. But that is ruthless energy. And it costs us something. It is a victory card. It is a victory card, but there's a cost to it. So it's never an out and out victory with this. We always lose something. You know, it might be, oh, I'm achieving that promotion, you know, working hard for that promotion, taking on all these people, but you make enemies at work, or you alienate your friends and family because you're focused. Do you see what I mean? That's just one example of this. And that happened in the past. That happened in the past. Either you've witnessed it from someone else, or you've experienced that, or you've gone all in and it's cost you something. This time you're not going to do that. This time you want what you want. You're ready to put action into it and go for it, but you're trying to find a balance. You know, you want to be able to, whatever it takes to go get it, but not exactly, not whatever it takes, not alienation, not, you know, riling things up or destroying stuff along the way, whatever it might be. That Six of Pentacles talks about finding a balance. There's no shame or pride in this, and that might be some of the stuff that's come up before. That you've taken shame in asking for something, or, you know, even pride, the opposite of when you're very prideful and it puts other people off, right? Excuse me, guys. So with the Six of Pentacles coming up, this is about making sure your own scales are balanced first. Do you feel good? Are you ready for this? Are you balanced within? Because that's when we know what we have to give, and that's when we know what we need. But I see those, I mean, I can't see it any other way. When I see those scales in between these two, very much speaks to me about finding some balance. Let's get a card for that. But that Five of Swords in the past is shitty. It's intense. And, you know, swords are our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, and how we communicate them. That's not nice communication. We talked about authenticity and, you know, authentic expression a lot in this past week's Scorpio season challenge. Day 11 is probably my favorite one that I've ever done. But a lot of people get that mixed up with judgment, or, you know, commenting on other people. Authentic expression is just about us. Not fighting with anyone, not having to, you know, get into this challenge of whatever's going on. With her, she understands that. She shines her light. That's how she gets what she wants. She's very attractive. It comes to her. I think it was Christopher Witecki who said this. He said that I think he said it, the newbie kind of way of manifesting is to think you have to sacrifice something, which would be the Five of Swords, that you think you have to sacrifice something. But that isn't. If you're manifesting, you know, I mean, conscious manifestation, that is not. That is, you know, that by shining your light bright, by going out there and being passionate, being inspired, and doing the things that you enjoy doing, that is how you bring to yourself more of your heart's desire, more to yourself. But it feels like a very conscious effort now to find a kind of balance between these two. But I wanted to get one for that Six of Pentacles, so let's see. More balance, yeah, see? And think about this. What do we say about the Chariot? It's balance between the head and the heart. The head and the heart. That's how we move forward on this. And that's another thing that we have looked at as well on the Scorpio season challenge, about how the head gets a bad reputation. You know, it's like, oh, it's all heart energy. It's all heart energy. But all heart, and especially if you look at it as yin and yang, and I've said this to people in readings as well, when people talk a lot about goddess energy and feminine energy and yin energy, that's great. That's the empress, right, who can hold space and let things grow. But what do we do with that? How do we take action? We need yang energy too. We need that divine masculine energy. We all have both within us, of action, of doing stuff. And this is about really going for something, but doing it from a place of that I'm balanced myself. I know I've had a look at this. I have no shame in what I'm doing. I have no pride in what I'm doing. I'm going forward because that's my destination, and I'm willing to show self-control, routine. You know, I see all of those kinds of things with the Chariot. It is control. It's self-control though. I sometimes see the Emperor's trying to control everything around him, but with the Chariot, that's you. You're the charioteer. You're the one that exerts the control, but over your head and your heart. The two must work together to move towards this. And that's that energy. I think the idea has been there for a while, but either you weren't ready to jump into the battle, or, you know, it was like, what's it going to cost me to do this? But I always say, if you have a really great dream, that kind of goes out the window, because that you're inspired then by the dream, by the wish to go forward. Now, this is about movement and how we move forward now. We have the Hanged Man coming up here. And the Hanged Man is this. What do you believe? What do you believe? This is being in limbo. And one of the things that I love is how often these two come up together. I do see a relationship between these two, because what the Hanged Man is, you're stuck in limbo right now. You know, it's a change in your perspective, but when you come down, things are going to get moving very quickly, and the Chariot kind of backs that up. And so for some of you, it might be that this is where you kind of you flip the notion of being selfish on its head. You flip the notion of jealousy on its head. There's some negative thought process, interaction, battle, or something here, which turns into, no, it's worth it for me. I'm going to do this in a positive way. I'm going to take positive action towards my dream. That's what this is about. That's what gets you going forward. That's the flip. The Hanged Man, it flips it on its head. You see it from a different perspective. It's the same situation. I don't actually get the sense that this is a situation that's been left behind, or it's different, or whatever. It feels like it's just been flipped on its head. It's like, why was I worried about that? So what? Who can touch me? Who can have an argument with me about this? I'm not doing it from a place of shame or pride. It's me moving forward on my journey, me moving towards my destination. You know, I'm doing this from a place of love and just inspired positive action. So if you're still in that place of dealing with this Five of Swords energy, just pause for a moment. Pause for a moment with that Hanged Man. Really look at this. And maybe that's why Justice was coming up before, right? Where it's looking at it from all sides. Just pause for a moment. Have a look at it. Have a look at it. Yeah, what I say, take a pause for a moment. Take a pause for a moment. With the Four of Swords coming up here, this is for sure that, you know, I mean, it's even taking a step back. This is that, let's put our weapons down. And I also think about this with the Four of Swords, that you've gone through too much to even be bothered at the moment. It's a card of healing in mind, body, and spirit. Those three swords were in his heart at one point, and he's removed them. And now out of that process of healing, of getting over some heartache, pain, loss, grief, old triggers, old stories, and I know a lot of people have been doing this with the challenges that we've been doing, you're left with a new truth. But it's about sitting in that new truth for a moment. So just take a pause, especially if you've been fighting. And I know it's swords, right? So I'm not saying literally ditch work, forget everything, don't go to court, don't go and do this. Just pause for a moment. This is around what we believe. This is around what we connect to. This is around how we see things. And it looks like there's fresh ideas coming in. There is another way around this. But whenever fours come up, it's pausing. It's pausing for a moment. And I feel like you can take this in a new direction. And not based on anything that comes from outside of you. It's all within you. It's all within you. And I know that's often a little harder, right? It's kind of easier if we could see outside of ourselves. But you'll hear me say in the outro that, you know, when we go through that inside, when we see it within ourselves, we will always see it outside of ourselves. As within, so without. That's absolutely true. Now, the other thing that I see around this is especially if there's been some kind of nastiness. This is that retreat to go like lick your wounds, to kind of, I don't think you'll see it as a loss after this, because that's a victory card. Whatever happened here, it's restored some balance here, which now allows you to go for what you want. A deeper meaning around that. But I get the sense that some of you either feel like you'll be left alone, or you're going to have to do this on your own. That's been coming up a lot for people. You got the Three of Cups there, though, going forward. That is community. That is love and support. You'll see who's there for you. When you go through hardship, take it from me, when you go through hardship, you really see who your kind of fair weather friends are. The ones that only want you, the ones that only support you when you're posting videos, the ones that only support you, or posting the videos that they want. It's amazing how quickly people's loyalty, people are fickle. We can be fickle. That when we're out partying and socializing, that, they're good, they're there, they love it. But when you give them a call and say, I'm not feeling that great today, they're not available. Sorry, I've got something else to do. Got somewhere else I've got to be. That's not always a bad thing, and it's not about judging other people. For me, if someone says no to me, that's fine. If I ask for help and they can't do it, that's absolutely fine. There's a 50-50 chance of, them saying yes or no. I don't have an expectation of what they will do. But I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the people that do show up, that do celebrate with me, that do support me, that love me, and they don't really want anything in return. It's unconditional. Those are the people that you hold even closer, and that I'll have in, a time and energy for them no matter what they want. And this keeps coming up, this thing up with Aquarius around who are your people, who is there for you, who do you love and support, who loves and supports you. I mean, that's massive. I have a feeling, just saying, that I think that'll get resolved this Sagittarius season. I have a feeling around that. Well, that's just me. Think about that now. We've got the King of Swords and the Three of Cups. So you will know whenever that is the motto for Aquarius. I know. You will know who is there to love and support you. You will know who you love and support. Anyone who tries to hold you back from walking forward on your path, that's not, why would they do that? That is selfish behavior. And it sounds counterintuitive, but it's this pause that changes things. This pause of, well, what does this even matter to me anymore? How am I seeing this? This is the pause button. Four of Swords is the pause button. It could be a temporary separation in a relationship. It could be a spa day, recovery from the flu, taking some time off work, whatever it is. That internal, I'm not going to argue anymore, that no communication for a little bit. Let me just sit in what it is that I want, what matters to me. And out of that comes this. Knowing who your people are, knowing who your community is, knowing how you feel about your loved ones. And especially if we're looking at him as someone who's made a promise, right? And I said I was going to do that. Why haven't I done that? That kind of energy. But it's knowing that people will accept you for whoever you are. They will see your integrity no matter what. Because he has a lot of integrity. He's a king. He's the King of Swords. I wasn't even doing that. I was doing that for that one. But look at that. Innocence coming in here. This can be a little bit serious. I'm not going to lie. Especially when we get this kind of energy, seriousness. But with the Page of Cups coming up and the Six of Cups, that's childlike energy. This is a gift from the past. This is when we've made our peace with the past. This is love. Whenever the Page of Cups comes up, there is love there, but it's that innocent kind of love that children have. It's not about romance. Even though if this is a romantic read for you, it's not about romance. It's about the core truth. What is the core emotion here to be nurtured? And some of you, if something really nasty happened to you, the Five of Swords can be really nasty, at work or at home, whatever the situation was, I think you kind of see the gift of it now with the Six of Cups. And you might be, I know, you're looking at this thinking, what is she talking about? That's not a gift, what happened. With the Six of Cups, it is. Because now we can go for an old dream. Now we can go for something else that we want. Now we can spend time with people that we truly love. That blow to the ego, that rejection, that fight, you know, whether we did it and we've been feeling guilty about it, or whether someone did it to us. But it's taking that pause to understand that with this Four of Swords energy. And what are we going towards? This reading, it feels like it has massive amounts of guilt on it, and it shouldn't. Like, you know, and I don't like the word should, but it shouldn't, because that's what it is, peaks and troughs, right? We go up and down, up and down. We can't help it, you know. If we want something, we feel that, and we do the best that we can. We do the best that we can to balance what it is that we want with what our responsibilities are. We do the best that we can to see things in a fair and proper way, to have a broader perspective, to have a belief system that, you know, that works, that helps us in our world view. Can be a change in philosophy here. But this feels like this massive shedding of guilt. That's what it feels like, guilt. And that is me purely going by, and I'm not guilty. I don't feel guilty about anything. But there is that. And maybe that's why that Justice card came up before as well. And this is the minor arcana version of Justice. You know, with the King of Swords, he's not very emotional. He's very logical. He does what's right, and he has knowledge, and he's very eloquent. So this could be an announcement that you make to a group of people that you love, that you're ready to now announce it, that you weren't before, because you were trying to figure it out. Is this really what I want to do? This is really what I want to do. So the advice is, remember that the core emotion behind this, and remember your motivation behind why you did this. Remember that if someone did something to you, they didn't actually do it to you, they did it for themselves. Same with you. You're doing it for yourself, whatever this thing is. And 9 times out of 10, when you do that, you have more to give other people, not less. You have more. And this is making our peace with the past. Sometimes we can get sidetracked. You know, we get sidetracked. And I find it very interesting that with the Justice and Tower card that came out right at the beginning, we have the minor arcana equivalents coming up in the spread. What is the difference behind that? Major arcana is our larger life path, where we're going. The macro, right? The minor arcana cards, that's our day-to-day. That is the micro. And so it kind of feels like this kind of situation may feel insignificant to some people, but it's had a deep effect on you in some way. And you've gotten over the worst of it. The Four of Swords says that. But this is where you take a minute to reset yourself, as my personal trainer always says to me. Take a moment, reset, and then go again. That's what that feels like. Because out of that comes some massive understanding. And that's beautiful energy. This is very light. This is very light. That is not light at all. And by standing in your truth, by speaking your truth, by standing by what you believe in, by standing by your own philosophy that's come up, and it may be a complete change in your philosophy. You know, someone who said, you know, born again, this could be in some, with that Six of Cups coming up, in some respects, or, you know, announcing that I now believe this. I know I used to believe whatever, now I now believe this. There will be your tribe, there will be your soul family, there will be people that support you in that.